again with The Wandering Road, and I'm your host, Mickey Cope. And today I got one of my favorite people here. We got Justin Chenette from Saco, the state representative. That cute kid,
It's the spiky hair.
with the spiky hair today. You always have a spike in your hair.
That's true. It's the high energy.
Oh, definitely that. And then we also have Rye Russell, who's the owner of the Saco Drive-In. So you know what we're going to be talking about, the drive-in. And we got to talk about it. We got to save them. So, Rye, here we go. How old is the drive-in?
The drive-in was established in 1939, so this is our 74th season in operation.
You're older than me. Somebody's older than me. And when did you buy it?
I leased the land. I took over operations in 2011.
2011, okay.
And it's an interesting story of how that started, because you were actually a student at the time.
I was still in college at the time when I saw that it was for lease. It was for sale and then for lease. And I decided to take over operations, and I've been there ever since. I just really love it.
Cool. And I understand there's another one here in Maine, up in,
There's a few left in Maine. I mean, we're fortunate to have as many as we do in Maine. I believe there's still 5 in operation in Maine. But I mean, they're dying quickly.
How many in the United States, do you know?
There's about 350 left in the U.S. And
Really?
by the end of this year, it's expected that maybe only 100 are going to survive.
Because of this transition from film to digital.
Oh,
That's the real
that's
reason.
the problem.
Right.
Yeah. Because all these movie industry people basically said, hey, we want to save a buck, which is a pretty big buck,
It's a big buck.
to convert from film to digital. So next year, instead of sending the film reels out to the drive-ins, they're just going to have a digital movie. But then all of the drive-ins basically now have to convert to this digital technology, or it's like, bye-bye, you can't have any of these new movies.
So especially being in New England, where we only have 9 full weeks of a season, we just can't make that conversion. It's going to cost upwards of about $85,000 to make the conversion. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of theaters that are going to close, and that's not just drive-ins. I mean, that's independent theater owners across the country. We're seeing a huge decline in box theaters as well that are privately owned.
Really?
Yes.
And what advantage is that to the studios?
It's a huge cost savings. One movie comes on about 6 reels of film, could be upwards of 7 or 8 reels, and that's about $2,500 in film. And so for them to put it on a $10 hard drive, it's going to save them a fortune. So they want all of the theaters to convert to digital. But that puts theaters like the Saco Drive-In and a lot of independently owned small market theaters out of business.
Because they're not helping them. It's not like, well, we're going to help you with this conversion. It's basically, you got to do it yourself.
You do this or close. Now, for them, it's kind of a control on distribution. They're not going to lose their audience. What they're going to do is just take these large market areas and funnel those small market populations to them. So say up in northern Maine, there's 2 or 3 independent theaters and 2 chain theaters. Well, if those 2 or 3 independent theaters close, they're not going to lose their stranglehold. People are just going to drive an extra 25 minutes to go to the closest theater, which is getting subsidized by the movie companies.
Crap.
Yes.
Big problem.
Well, how did you get involved in this?
Well, I represent the district that includes the drive-in, and I've known Rye now for a couple of years now, believe it or not. And and it's important to me because...
He's happy today. He's all excited.
Yes, I'm out of Augusta. So I'm always in a better mood. No, it's important because I see a value in the community from a cultural perspective, and I'm really big into that in Saco because when you think of Saco, like for me, I think of going down a Rapid Raise. Have you ever been to Rapid Raise?
No.
Rapid Raise, well, anyway, Rapid Raise is a very special place in Saco culture and history. It's like you go down, get a burger on Main Street, and then you go down to the Saco Drive-In. Like that's sort of how a lot of people grew up. And I think people are rediscovering that. And I think even just with this whole campaign of trying to save the drive-in, you're seeing a resurgence, a little bit of a resurgence. I mean, the drive-in had one of its biggest weekends
Oh yeah,
ever.
it's the largest weekend that we've ever seen.
When?
This was in the
July.
middle of July. Yeah, we
When
had
you did the two
Despicable
show?
Me.
Yes.
Despicable
I
Me
was
and
there
Monsters
for that.
University. Oh, were you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a fantastic week. I mean, the other big thing about the resurgence, especially here in Saco, is I mean, especially during the time of recession, it's one of the few industries that actually grew because the price point, we're $15 per car. So people were finding an alternative to going to amusement parks or
Right.
taking a vacation. There was a vacation in their backyard and they never knew about it. You know, for me, why I really got involved and why I'm working so hard to preserve this is I grew up in Saco in a low to moderate income family. And I just remember the struggles. And, you know, my parents, like many parents, tried to, you know, eliminate that for the kids. But I mean, we weren't stupid. And I remember one time walking by my dad's room praying the electricity wasn't going to go off. And that night when my mom got home from work, they both took my sister and I to the drive-in. Just, it was like the whole world changed. And everything changed for them. And it was just the four of us in the car. And it was just a totally unique experience. And to see my dad, you know, he didn't know that I had witnessed this. And to just see the transition of him just being genuinely happy. And last year, when we first really found out this was the last season, we're going to have to do it, I had told Justin, I said, we can't do this financially. I've put everything I can into it. It's time to cut the losses and we got to go. And he said, well, you know, it's time to start kind of just letting people know then. So, I mean, we didn't really publicize it, but, you know, just kind of around town, you know, we had brought it up in conversation that the drive-in was going to be closing down. And the influx of emails we received were just overwhelming. And this one email in particular, I broke down and I started crying. My girlfriend came home and she just looked at me, she's like, we're going back. And I said, we got to give it one last shot. And what happened was it was the exact same story. It was this woman who they just moved to Maine and, you know, her husband got a new job and after 3 weeks got laid off.
Oh, geez.
And they couldn't, you know, she goes into this story about what happened with her and her family. And she said, you know, not to put any pressure on you, but the drive-in saved our family. So I'm lost and I'm going to lose it right now. But, you know, so I'm reading this and I called Justin about 5 minutes after that and I said, we got to do this. We got to give it one last shot. This isn't about me anymore. This isn't about the drive-in. This is a bigger thing here.
Yeah.
It's about the family. And the drive-in had its day. And, you know, right after World War II, everybody was able to get a car. It was a sense of freedom. We're just in a different, we're fighting a new battle now. I mean, you know, that war's over, but now we're fighting poverty. And the drive-in is an escape for these families to get out of the mindset of, is the electricity going to be on tomorrow? I mean, literally, we get Ziploc bags of quarters. And, you know, people are like, sorry, I don't care. You know, it could be $14.75. I'm not going to count every single quarter and wait and hold up the line. I just want that family to get in the doors and experience the drive-in and escape whatever it is they need to escape from. And for me, that's going to be the largest hit to Saco, is just losing that backyard vacation.
And it's also a local job creator, and we're seeing a lot of things across the state dwindle. I mean, we've seen businesses right on Main Street in Saco go under because we're going through this shift, and the economy isn't that good right now. And one of the things I'm seeing from a public policy standpoint in Augusta is that we have to be hands-on with businesses. We cannot just pass some law and hope that we've waved a magic wand and we've solved all the issues.
Yeah.
Leadership is about getting your hands dirty, get involved with businesses, and provide with, you know, the necessary tools to make them successful. And to me, I see this as a local job creator too, because it does employ a lot of high school and college age kids. I mean, even our mayor got his first job at the drive-in. So this is something that would be another layer to the economic issue in our region if this goes under. And it drives people to Saco, because it's like you get people from Old Orchard, Berwick, all kinds of different places.
And I mean, our online database, I mean, because we can track the analytics, I mean, we have a strong hold on York and Cumberland County. That makes up almost 15,000 people. people. So I mean, it's not just Saco that is the drive-in is serving. I've got families from Augusta that come every Saturday.
But that Despicable one, there was a lot of cars.
That's a
There was
cute
a-
movie, too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it
that was,
was
what was the other one?
Monsters University.
No, the one Despicable, and then the other show that was with that was a great show. See, a great show, and I can't remember.
Yeah, the first weekend of Despicable Me was Despicable Me and Monsters University.
No.
I can't remember what we had with it after that.
But the key is a lot of family-oriented films,
Right.
because
Yeah.
that's who really comes out to this primarily, is a lot of families like to come out with their kids, and it's always nice to see them, having the hatchback up, and you have the blankets laid out on all the little kids and everything.
What's fun about nights like that, those big car nights, is just the amount of kids who may
Oh,
or
yeah.
may not go to school with each other.
Jump roping out in front of the car,
Or
just-
frisbee.
Yeah, it starts
and-
with 5
yeah.
kids playing
Yeah,
football, and it turns
yeah.
into 65 kids playing
Saw
football.
that.
Last year was really funny. At the end of the year, a mom came up to me and she said, "So I got a really cool story for you." She's like, "My son and that kid over there, they had never met before, and they met here back in April. And we found out they live one development behind us, and they haven't spent a day apart for the rest of the year. And they've
Oh
been in
my
the same
gosh.
school for 4 years." And so it was
Good
really cool
connections.
how the drive-in kind of builds a sense of community. But yeah, I mean, we've got people, Brunswick, Bath, Augusta, Portsmouth, Nashua. I mean, people are driving and just go to drive-in. I mean, we had family the other night. I saw that they were from New Hampshire. I said, "Oh, are you staying locally?" Like, "Nope, we literally drove for this and we're driving home." And I said, "Oh, that's awesome. We appreciate the
Wow.
support." And they came out and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're telling everybody about the Saco drive-in down there. There's nothing like it." So it's a really great piece of the culture
Yeah.
and community down here.
My dad, where we lived in Oneonta, New York, he ran the projection
Okay.
at the drive-in.
Yeah.
And he used to make us a big pot of popcorn.
Right.
And then it would, I don't even remember if we had soda. I think it was Kool-Aid. I think it was Kool-Aid that we took with us.
Yeah.
But we were there every weekend.
Yep. And
Such fun.
for us
and
as well.
boyfriends and girlfriends. I
Right.
mean, gotta go spooning.
Exactly.
Is that what the kids call it now?
Oh, that's what we called it then. But yeah, it brings back a lot of memories.
Right. And we want to preserve those memories
Yeah.
for future generations, which is where this the Honda
Yeah,
project
I
comes
was
in.
going to ask you now about this Honda contest, Honda North America, Project Drive-In Contest. Saco Drive-In is the only one in Maine? No, that's not right?
Well, when
Somebody
it
wrote that wrong.
officially launced, it was the only drive-in in Maine, and since one
Yeah.
more has come
One
on
more
board.
has come up?
I think there's one more in Maine. The list is growing every day because there's no deadline.
Okay.
But I mean, from kind of what they have told us is that basically anybody that wasn't there from the beginning is going to have a very hard time playing catch up. So we're very lucky that we
Right.
were there day one, and actually they shot their national commercial here in Saco.
It was so neat.
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
they came down and they had all their fancy equipment and they
Yeah.
shot interviews with Rye and a bunch of other community members, and it was
Oh
just
my
fun.
goodness.
Justin was part of that. Camille Smalley from the Saco Museum and Library was a part of that, and all three of us made up part of their national piece. So it was really cool. About 65% of their national commercial was shot right here in Saco using the three of us and using a lot of our community members. So it's really cool now because every drive-in that's part of this project plays this commercial before the movies start. So there's Saco families with the Saco drive-in sweatshirts right on this screen across America. It's really cool.
You're getting some advertisement free.
Absolutely. It's
And
really
this
neat.
face.
And unfortunately for the public, this face.
Nah, that's a good looking face, baby. Don't worry about it. That's a good looking one. So, what do we do now? We got 16 days left. That's what you and I figured out with today. We got 16 days left.
So
of
September
voting.
9th is the deadline, okay?
Okay.
And people can vote once per day, every day through 2 different mediums. So you can vote via text, so they can text VOTE 7,
No spaces.
no spaces,
Text, vote 7.
to 444-999. I have to extenuate
Yeah, I
that.
know.
So just
3
because
fours,
there's
3
three,
nines.
right, exactly. So
Okay.
text VOTE 7 to 444-3999. 3999.
No three, no three.
No, 3.
Vote 7
Right.
to 444.
It's on my car, right?
999.
I should know how to do
Okay.
this.
The girls at the drive-in tattooed all of our cars with the glass paint, and it says "Save Saco Drive-In." Text vote 7 to 444-999. That's what it says.
Right.
And what's really cool is they did it to all of their cars, and then they did it to my car. And so, I mean, going to Sam's Club, going to the grocery store, going anywhere. I had a gentleman come up to me at Saco Hannaford, and he saw my jacket, and he said, "You're with the drive-in, correct?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "How awkward is it if I take a picture of the back of your car?" And I said, "It's not awkward at all. What for?" And he said, "Well, I need to know where I vote." And I said, "Oh, even better yet. I've got the flyer right in my car. I'll give it to you." And I said, "But if you want, you can take a picture with me in the car." And so,
There you go.
yeah. So my girlfriend took a picture of us, so that way, he could have that and send it to all of his friends.
Oh, cool.
But it's really neat. I mean, Sam's Club, going to the bank, anywhere. I mean, people are really hearing about this
Well, you got
contest.
your face in the paper, too.
Exactly.
I mean-
Everybody's really rallying behind this, but it was really moving the other day at Sam's Club, and I'll probably cry again. This woman, she worked at the pharmacy, and she came around the counter, and she came and gave me a hug, and she said, "Don't give up." She said, "We need this here." She said, "My family needs this. There's so many families that need to have that escape that they can afford and just go forget about life for 5 hours." And she's like, "So we're going to do this." She's like, "I'm telling everybody I know." She's like, "Just don't give up and keep going." She's like, "You have no idea what you're doing for this
Have you
community."
gotten any donations?
We've been fundraising since January. We've only raised about $5,000. So unfortunately, we've kind of exhausted that route. Our last hope is this project, or we will close down.
This project, drive-in, how much are they going to be doing? What, do you get the whole system?
They're giving away, so the top 5 vote getters in the country will get a full
you said
system.
vote getters.
Yes. So America decides on 5 drive-ins. Whichever 5 has the most votes, September 9th, will get a digital
Like
projector.
American Idol of drive-ins. Okay, so
Okay.
so again, there's 5 digital projectors. So we are competing with some of the big ones down in the South and out West. So that's why we need people to vote all the time, because it is going to be it is a challenge, because we are competing with year-round drive-ins.
And the thing is yes, I mean, we're competing with year-round
okay.
drive-ins. We're competing with drive-ins that have 8 screens. It's a whole different animal. But, I guess for them, if they can get one paid for, they're good. It's a little bit different scenario. For New England and some of the northern states, it's do or die. I mean, we only have 9 weeks. We only have 1 show a day. We only have 1 screen. So this isn't something where some of these southern states, they're going to lose 1 screen. But they're still going to have 6. We're going to lose the theater and we're going to lose the history there. But we don't want people to get discouraged with how big some of these other theaters are, because they don't have the reach we have here in Saco. We have the 2nd largest Facebook following of any drive-in in the country. And if we keep the rate of growth that we're seeing the last 2 weeks since this started, we're going to be number 1 in a couple days. The number 1 drive-in was 24,000 when we were 22, and we're on track to beat 24,000 today.
Wow.
So, I mean, we've got a great opportunity to just expand the reach of the Saco Drive-In and just get everybody involved. And, I mean, that's the great thing is, I mean, each post that we're doing every day is getting between 50 and 200 shares. So, I mean, it's a huge audience, and our reach online has been right around 180,000 people a day for the past 2 weeks since this campaign started. We have a really good chance, and we just need to make sure that we're committed to doing it every day.
Okay, so number 1 is texting. What's number 2?
Number 2, the easiest way to get to it is, because there's a long link to get there, is thesacodrivein.com/Project Drive-In.
We got that up there on the screen.
Yes.
It's on the screen. Okay.
And so all the details right there, on the very top of the page is kind of the direct link on where you can go to vote. There's also some videos on that page, a description of the project, and there's also some profile picture and a Facebook banner. And what's really cool is going online and
Seeing
just
it all.
seeing people. they'll download the Facebook banner and put it on their page. And, so that was our hope, is just as much awareness that we can spread for this to
It
get it out
reaches
there.
out different groups of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, we're putting a lot of our hope into this campaign, but we're not quite done yet. I just spoke with the owner of the Skowhegan Drive-In. Same problem, but he didn't enter this contest. He said, honestly, we can't compete with some of the southern states. You are our hope to represent Maine. You've got the largest reach in New England. What can we do to support you? And I said, holy cow, that's really neat. So he's posting to his fans, look, you know what, let's rally behind Saco, let's win this contest for Maine and have them represent us. In return, we're not selfish, we're trying to save the industry. I mean, we got to focus on Saco first, but we're trying to save this. We're going to help in the fundraising efforts with Skowhegan. And we have reached out to some of the other drive-ins. Two of them don't really have any interest in working with us, but the other two seem to have great interest because they know we're trying to save the industry. We're not here to try to battle anybody out. We're going to lose almost 200 drive-ins expectedly by the end of this year.
Really?
And yes, this conversion is going to put a lot of people out of business.
Right, because who has $80,000 lying around to convert to digital
well,
technology?
that's true.
Yep.
So it is difficult.
They have bank loans.
Yeah, I mean, it would put us under to get a loan.
So after, I'm going to just say this, after we win this thing, because it's good to
Positive
be
thinking.
positive,
That's
got to
you.
put it out there, we want to help other people. We
Right,
want to
we're
help
not
others.
done.
Yeah.
I mean, we really want to save this industry. And we especially want to save it here in the state of Maine because we have 5. We really need to keep them around. And the great thing is they're so kind of spread out that, until you get very far north, you can get to one within about 45 minutes. And it's worth the trip. So Skowhegan, and we're reaching out to Madawaska. The owner of Skowhegan knows them, and he said, I'll talk to them. We'll put this together. He said, so we're going to help you win this, and we appreciate anything you can do. So I invited them down once this contest is over to hold a fundraiser down at the Saco Drive-In and kind of just help spread awareness for this. The biggest thing about kind of the demise in the first place was awareness. Not many people. It was lost after, my grandparents, that's what they did. And, my parents went to the drive and they took my sister and I, but so many families.
Yeah, it died out in the 60s, I think.
Yeah.
It was like, you knew the theater was there, the drive-in was there, but nobody ever
They never went.
Right.
I mean, there's people that still say that because of this awareness that we're raising for the campaign, it's like we've lived in Saco our whole lives and we've never been down there. And now
Right.
that it's
Yeah.
sort of the cool thing to do now, it's sort
Yeah.
of like we wanted to see what it was all about. And now through basically trying to save it, new people have come
Right.
aboard that have been a part of the community for
Yeah.
a long time.
Well, and that's what, there were some of the northern drive-ins that said to me, when he called me on Friday, he said, what's really cool? He said, this project and everything that you've been able to accomplish through this project is actually helping us all out because people are driving by and, they'll see the sign and be like, oh, I just heard about the drive-in. I'm going to go check that out. So the industry is actually growing. And, I mean, we need to work collaboratively to make this, to preserve this industry and preserve this, like I say, it's a backyard vacation for people. So this Honda project is really the drive-in's last hope to stay alive.
This surprises me. Why did Honda do this? Do we know?
It's a great question. It was, everybody asks, why didn't an American? Well, Honda North America, I mean, they do produce cars in the United States.
Yeah, I know that.
And so, I mean, for them, it was, they saw a need they saw the drive-ins dying, and the drive-ins aren't going to live without cars. For them, it was an easy transition to say, hey, look, let's do this. I mean, let's bring this
interesting.
culture back. So it was really cool for them to get behind this and be supportive of what could be a very lost art.
Cool. Okay, this shows the 35 millimeter film projector. Is that the ones they had back in the 50s also?
Yes, yeah, what
Okay.
you see right there, that's about probably a late 70s model right there, but pretty much the same as kind
This
of the
was in
50s and
the-
60s.
What was this in?
That was probably in the
Chronicle.
Courier.
Courier
Or the Chronicle.
or the
One of the
Chronic-
local regional
One of the
papers.
little
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But a lot of media outlets have been coming down and
Yeah, I
covering
mean,
it.
and the thing is because I mean we have the largest reach in Maine. People have kind of been, what's really cool is everybody. This is Maine's drive-in now. Everybody's really rallying behind the opportunity for Saco to win this thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, and I have to be very careful, especially in talking to staff, to not overdo. I mean, we need to have the mindset that until this is over, we're in last place. Sure, it's great. We have the second largest Facebook following of a drive-in in the country. Cool. We're not done yet. I mean, there's no way to track the votes. We have no idea what other drive-ins, what other states are doing. We need to pretend that we're in last place until this is over.
Where were these big ones that you were talking about that had 5 screens? Where were they?
Texas.
Oh, they're all over the place. I mean, there's some
I
in
guess-
Pennsylvania, Florida, Texas, California. Pretty
of the
much
year-round
anything
climate.
outside of New England is a multiplex.
Oh, never mind. Everything's outside. Okay.
But that doesn't matter. We're going to win this.
We're going to win this. We're going to win this. What else do we want to say about this?
The biggest thing is as supportive as the community is, and I mean, like I said, the grocery store, bank, everywhere I go, everybody's telling me they vote, and I always look at them and I say, did you vote once or are you voting every day?
Right.
You vote every day? Yeah, you vote every day,
Right.
and they're like, oh, well, we will. That's the biggest.
Just reminding
Yeah,
people.
is we need to be voting every single day, each and every single one of us, because again, back to what we're competing against, they have the population in their town that we have in the state. So I mean, we need to make sure that the whole state
Gotcha.
is
Rallies.
rallying behind the Saco drive-in, so we can accomplish this, and we need to be doing it every single day. And
That would be rough if you were living in Montana and had one of them, because Montana doesn't even have 1 million people.
right.
Right.
And say you got that big thing
Right.
down in Texas, Dallas, we'll say,
Right.
has a multiplex. They got a state of millions.
Right.
Right, but say
Oh, what a
Dallas had 1 million people and the
complicated.
state of Maine had 1 million people, but Dallas is only getting those people to vote once, and we're getting everybody to vote twice. I mean, that's where this really comes down to.
This
is,
means something, I feel, that a lot more than some of those other places. Because that's just, okay, if you don't do that, you're going to do this other form of entertainment. But really
Right,
for
right.
this, it's not just regionally, but really for the whole state. This is a piece of us.
Right.
You know, it means something.
I mean,
to
we're
us.
getting
Yeah.
people from Presque Isle say, hey, look, we're voting every day. We come down, we vacation in Old Orchard. We're going to make sure that we help you save this. So we're reaching out to our community up here. I mean, we've got people from Montreal who said that they're logging on to vote. I mean, the great thing is since we started this website and we put our T-shirts and sweatshirts online, I mean, it's opened up just so much that I didn't even really knew existed. I mean, we're shipping T-shirts to Florida. We just ship T-shirts.
That's the
Yeah,
T-shirt?
these T-shirts right here.
I'll be the Vanna White today.
Exactly. So I mean,
These great T-shirts.
T-shirts and sweatshirts. I mean, we've done Oregon,
Yeah.
Washington, California, Texas, Montana. I mean, we're sending these literally all over the country. We never knew that it meant so much to so many people outside of the state.
They might be Mainers.
Absolutely,
That have moved away.
a lot of them are. There's
wanna come back.
Yeah,
And remember,
Yeah,
Right.
there's a family in Georgia who friend requested me on Facebook, and we chat about every other day now. And they actually, the summer their son was born, they still lived in Saco and they moved down there for work. And I saw an order that one of the girls were processing that was going to Georgia. And so I happened to look at it and I saw the name. So I called, I said, thank you so much for doing this. And we threw in a youth size to make sure that, that the little one's going to be able to get a T-shirt. So we just got some youth sizes made up because we didn't have them before. But it's just really
see, I
cool
didn't
to
know
have
you had
this reach.
had the T-shirts on sale.
Yes, yep. So I mean that's new. I mean we've never done it before.
pink
So just the
ones?
last couple weeks, and it's grown. Yeah, there's gray sweatshirts, black sweatshirts, blue sweatshirts, pink tank tops. I mean, there's a whole Saco drive-in clothing line now that we never even knew existed. But I mean that's the support that we're seeing, and it just has not been like that for years.
Well, I hope you're doing real good with it.
Yes, thank you very much.
But this
Yeah.
could be the, I think it's really important to stress how serious this is, though, because while this is great, the resurgence is
Right.
great, this could be the last season. And what I try to tell
Yeah.
people is like, drive by
Tell 'em.
the Saco drive-in and imagine it not being there anymore. Because that's what's going to happen in the next month, essentially.
I mean,
if we don't save this, if you don't vote every single day, imagine it not being there, not part of the community, not having that option with your family, and not having that cultural, historical bridge to our community. That's what we're talking about. So it's so serious. I mean, it's great that everyone's rediscovering it.
Right.
But if they don't click vote, they don't text vote every single day from now until September 9th, it will not be there.
it's true. I mean,
16 days.
yeah, how, literally the life of the driving comes down to the next 2 weeks. I mean, everything rides on this, and we've exhausted every other option. And I mean, if you know Justin and I, we don't quit and we don't like to lose. We've been working on this since November, and I mean, we've tried absolutely everything. So this project is our last hope. We want to be right here celebrating the Saco Drive-In 75th anniversary with the state of Maine. All we need is votes and one more season, and we'll be right there.
Okay. Anything else we need to say?
You could always come down to the Saco Drive-In because it's open 7 days a week. But yes, I'm sorry, I just have to put a plug to Saco. But
No, that's okay.
No, but again, they can go to thesacodrivein.com to vote. They can vote 7 to 444-999. See, I have to do that, or
I do too.
I'll forget. But and so I hope people do that. They can go on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Saco Drive-In.
I mean, in order to get involved, it's as simple as going to our Facebook page or the website and just get involved, spread the
That's what
message.
Michelle did.
Right.
The day we talked about coming on,
Yeah.
that's what Michelle did. She went right home and started texting.
Yeah.
It's organizing.
Yeah.
It's getting out to people where they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are online now, which is great, and it just is another form of communication. So,
Cool.
so yeah, but we'd love to come back on the show to let you know that
You've
we've
got a
saved
deal.
the Saco
got a
Drive-In.
deal.
So in the next month, I want to be able to come back here and be like, we've saved something that's not just a cultural gem, but a local job creator and something that means something so special to families not in Maine, but across the country.
I agree.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. But I want you on again, too, because I want to talk about your
I know, we'll have fun.
ordeals up in Augusta.
Yes, I'll give you the skinny of what's happening.
Okay. All right, folks, we're going to call it quits for today. Remember, there's only 16 days left. 16 texts. That's only 16 times you got a text or do
And
the
click.
.com. Click. Text and click. Let's try and help these guys out. I thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Rye,
so
thank
much.
you for coming in. And you, darling, thank you. I'm going to see you again.
Okay.
You too.
Let's hope so.
Got it. Love you all. Have a great day. Kisses.